We need to talk for a second about the loudness war and the concept of something being heavy equaling talent or creativity. This has been a big thing that you are seeing recently with what I call the Lorna Shore effect. I've mentioned it a lot recently and it inspired me to make an entire video about it. And Lorna Shore's influence on the modern sphere of breakdowns isn't something that they are solely to blame for, because you have seen even before Lorna Shore started blowing up in the way that they did, bands like Slaughter to Prevail and specifically Infant Annihilator really selling themselves on heaviness and heaviness alone. It doesn't matter if you are defining genre expectations as long as something hits like a ton of bricks and gets what I call the streamer PogChamp face and the reaction thumbnails generating a ton of buzz, because every time you make the next biggest heaviest breakdown, you are going to get a ton of Twitch streams and YouTube views and clicks, and that's going to be monetarily sufficient to get your exposure. And there's really nothing wrong with that, especially if you want to make heavy music. But I think the biggest issue with this is you're faced with the challenge, if you are a band of this breed, to always try to up the ante and be at risk constantly and under the knife to always make something that is more brutal and more over the top than your last single or your last popular moment, because if you don't, you are immediately going to be put in this cage of comparison where people are going to say, well, it just doesn't hit as hard as X, Y, or Z song. Sort of looking at your music in a vacuum where instead of trying to make the best possible song you can make, you're not really playing a song for the song itself, you're playing it to pad out time for the breakdown, for the it moment, for the time that everyone is going to shit their pants when they feel a breakdown coming. Metalcore and deathcore fans have become so conditioned to expect the heavy breakdown, to expect the insanity, and if there is a breakdown nowadays that isn't to that degree, we are so desensitized to it that we don't think it's good. We think it's subpar if it doesn't hit like a skyscraper, when in reality, breakdown should be used as something that can be tampered with, that can be experimental, that can be really brutal, but can also be soft, can also be mid-range, can also have electronics, can also have a lot of different things put into the formula that isn't just blatant heaviness. Because I love hearing experimentation with breakdowns. It's one reason I like Jaluka so much with their track Venom, because even though it has that sort of clickbait reaction sort of thing, the breakdown isn't just trying to be as heavy as possible. The last one certainly is maintaining that Lorna Shore-esque choir sort of sound, and I think one thing that I would just like to see going forward is bands put more of a focus on the songwriting and not just playing towards the breakdown, because breakdowns are amazing, they're fun. I am a metalcore fanatic. I love metalcore and I love deathcore music. They're my favorite genres. I don't make any like qualms about that. But I would be lying if I said that the loudness war sometimes isn't a lot to stomach, because it seems like every band isn't just trying to make creative music in their own lane. They are in like a competition for who can make the most over-the-top sounding breakdown that everyone shits themselves about for a week until the next biggest breakdown comes. I think it kind of hurts the replayability of some tracks, and of course some bleed through, but I'm seeing dozens of these tracks and these bands that are trying their best to be as heavy and be as brutal as possible, and I think it's taking away from the longevity of their projects, but that's just my opinion. What are your opinions of this? You can let me know down in the comment section below if you agree or you disagree. Totally fine, there is no wrong answer here. And be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is, my name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying fair.